Welcome to Fried on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Fried, and this is Fried on Business.
Got an absolutely tremendous show today. We're going to talk about my new partnership with Oasis Pro Markets. Just got off the phone with the compliance department to make sure we stay within the rails. Of course, Oasis Pro is a licensed broker dealer, so we're going to have to make sure that we're FINRA and SEC compliant in everything we do, and I promise you we will be. So I've got my partner, Jim McCarthy, and we're going to talk about that. And we're going to start with my friend Irvin from IMN, but want to always thank our friends at Warren Henry. Oops, here we go. Got this today. Love our friends at Warren Henry, 151st and Biscayne. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. Thanks to Eric, Ismet, Larry, Warren, our whole team up there. We love them all. We got to thank them. They've been sponsors on the show for well over a decade, and probably had more here when we started with that. So let's get started with Irvin. Irvin, where's Irvin? There he is. Hey, Irvin, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Jim? Yes,
I'm doing great. Welcome back to the show. We get together. We do this at least once a year. Now we're going to call it the annual appearance for IMN on the show. We're going to talk about IMN's family office and real estate event at the Eden Rock. When is that, Irvin?
Yeah, so that's October 4th through the 5th. Coming up in a few months here. Actually,
it's not so far away. Can people register yet?
Yeah, no, registration's been open for the past few months. We're still inviting a lot of our family offices to join. The program's almost 60 to 70% complete, so we're getting there. But our numbers are looking good, and excited to get back to Miami.
This is how I judge whether I judge whether an event is good or not. And usually I get like double this at the IMN events, and they're really quality contacts. In fact, I got a cold call off of my e-blast from one of the people that I met at the IMN conference just this week, and it turned into a $100+ million deal that I'm going to try to do with Mr. McCarthy on the, so very excited. IMN's always been a very productive environment for me to go to. Talk a little bit about the type of people that go to this event, Irvin.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So this is our 8th year doing it in Miami, and the different types of folks coming in. We have a lot of family offices primarily, as you could imagine. A lot of wealth managers. We have a lot of advisory types in this space to family offices and private wealth, and some law firms as well as our sponsoring organizations that always come along and are looking to connect with some of these family offices. So it's really a wide range. We usually have 300 plus in attendance, and it's a mix of folks. So, on the agenda, you're getting all types of perspectives and, different panel perspectives. So it's usually really enjoyable.
Yeah, I always boast that when I talk about my blockchain technology thing, I talk about and reference Ethan Penner, and I met Mr. Penner at one of these events. So it's a great event to meet and connect with people from all over the country, all over the world, all the different silos. And when your expertise is mixing it up and crossing over between the silos, you meet some great people. Irvin, let's go over a little bit about, I know that some of the agenda has been set. Let's talk a little bit about some of the items on the agenda that you're going to be discussing at the conference.
Yeah, I mean, we're kicking it off on our day one, October 4th. We'll be discussing family office trends, which, it's always good to get a good sense of the market and, where a lot of these family offices are investing and, the different avenues that they're doing so. I think one of the big things that you may be aware about is multifamily. I think multifamily and investing in multifamily is really the kind of trending topic right now amongst investors and family offices. So we have a couple sessions on that. Typically, we usually have one overview multifamily session, but for this year, just in terms of demand and discussion, we kind of split it between value add and mixed use. So those are two of the bigger ones. So we'll have a couple panels on that, and I think those discussions will be very fruitful. Really great for the audience. So just a little bit of that, as well as succession planning. I think a succession planning is also a pretty big trending topic. We'll have a whole panel dedicated to that. In terms of these families and what the next steps are in the next few years. A lot of these families are having older folks within their families that are retiring, and kind of that next generation of people who will be taking over the family business. So it's a little snippet into things, but we'll be discussing all types of things like ESG, industrial investments, office and retail, where we're at with those investments with the family offices. So I think it'll be a wide array, which is usually what we strive for on the agenda. So, yeah.
And who do you have that are some of the confirmed speakers, Irvin?
Yeah, I mean, we have kicking off the morning, like I mentioned, we have DJ Van Kuren with Evergreen, and he's he's kind of really big in the space, and people know him as just being a big name and kind of all over the place at some of these events related to family offices. So we'll have him. Adi-Guamfi is a big one with EA Global. He's kind of a mainstay at our IMN events. We just have a number of family offices, small and large, who'll be attending as well. I don't want to give out too many names, Jim. I like to keep some of this stuff secret.
Oh, good. I just wanted to know who some of the speakers were that you're putting up on your flyer. That's all.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
A lot of people come to meet the speakers and then also to meet some of the people in the audience. I know that I've met some incredible people on both the stage as well as in the audience. Yeah. If people want to get more information, let's talk a little bit about the hotel, how they can get here, when it is, and of course the pricing.
Yeah, of course. So we'll be down in Miami Beach. We'll be at the Eden Rock. Jim, I know you're familiar with that place.
Love the place.
Yeah, beautiful location. And
you should say the historic Eden Rock. It's gorgeous.
The historic Eden Rock, excuse me. It's a great location. And, October 3rd through the 5th, we're holding hotel dates at. So if you're looking to get the hotel rate, I would book sooner than later. And in terms of pricing, I don't want to talk out of place here for my logistics and operations team, but probably you're looking at about $500 to $600 a night at our rate. So might be able to get you a deal if you send me a personal email. But that's about what you're paying. So
no, I'm talking about for the conference.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the conference rate. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So how do people get more information about the conference, Irvin?
Yeah, so you can email me at my email, as you might be able to see my name on the screen here. It's Irvin.Adi-Guamfi, unhyphenated, so ADUGYAMFI at IMN.org, as well as we have our website. If you go on IMN.org, which is our business website, we have our slate of events. It'll be in October, as I mentioned, so just scroll down to October and you'll see it right there. All the details, we'll be posting the agenda in the next week or two, so you'll be able to see that as well. So that's the best way to kind of get it.
Yeah, my attendance in the book of contacts that I've been able to build from the IMN events really have helped me, not only with my new business that I'm going to do with blockchain, but also to meet some of the participants that I'll be soliciting. It's really a great business development event that crosses all product types and all types of service providers. And you really do meet people that are allocators. I think that's the really big word you want to use here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There are real allocators. There are real people that invest in funds, that invest in deals, that sponsor deals. So this isn't just a bunch of people that are looking to cross-sell services to each other. This really is a place where you can meet movers and shakers and build your book over time. The family office space is not easy to break into. It starts with building credibility and relationships by seeing the same people over and over again at the events and having them get comfortable with you. It's pretty accurate, isn't it, Irvin? Yeah,
no, I would agree. Absolutely. No, that's definitely to a T. And obviously overseeing the programming, it's kind of getting everyone together and seeing the camaraderie of people discussing and, deal making like you suggest on some of the panels. So I enjoy it a lot. So,
Yeah, it's really great people. It's a great time. It's great networking. It's
Yeah.
great information. And it's just a really super duper time. Irvin, I really do appreciate you, holding your lunch meeting back for us. I'm going to let you go and release you.
Thank
You
you.
could tell everybody, that we had a good time. I hope you had a good time. Did you have a good time?
Oh yeah, it's always a good time.
All right, great. And I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks down here. It's really sooner than you think.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see the rest of the IMN team and do a bunch of high fives. And let me know if there's anything else I can do to be of service to you and the IMN team.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Jim. Thanks for the time. And thank you, everyone.
My pleasure. Once again, the event is when?
October 4th through the 5th at the Eden Rock Hotel, Miami Beach.
And our flyer that we sent out has a link. You can get more information on imn.org, or you can email Irvin direct, and it's his name with no hyphen at imn.net, right?
.org, close.
Oh, sorry. There's too many end things now. When it got past com, I was really out of touch. But okay, so it's Irvin without the hyphen at imn.net.
Org.
You
did on purpose.
Correcting me. There it is, .org. Mr. Mendoza had to come and really rub it in. Irvin, have a great lunch. Oh, I forgot to say, and you were here today broadcasting live from your media offices at Rockefeller Center. So you're helping the economy restart by going into the office.
That's right. It's voluntary at this point, but it's still nice. I'm a social creature, so I need to see people. I can't be in the apartment for too long. So
I agree with you completely. If I don't get out every day, 2 or 3 times a day, I go insane. I have to meet, greet, and be vital. So thank you for restarting the Midtown or down on what part of Manhattan is that?
Yeah, it's technically Midtown East, but yeah.
Thanks for starting the New York City economy yourself with your American Express card. Irvin, from IMN, thank you so much for being here. We're going to take a quick break, and then I'll be on with Jim Mack, and we're going to talk about our new partnership with Oasis Pro Markets and what that means to you, our listener, and the people you know. Irvin, high five to you and the team. Can't wait to see you guys.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay, bye-bye. Mr. Mendoza, it's yours. There he is, Mr. Mendoza. We should have the Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau sponsor the show with the kind of shots that you give them. I do want to thank our sponsors at Warren Henry. Warren Henry's been a sponsor. Whoops, hold on. I forgot the best part of the whole thing. Woo, there it is. Warren Henry's been a sponsor of our show for well over a decade. The show's been on for 15 years. Warren Henry's been a sponsor for over 12. I want to thank our friends at Warren Henry, Eric, Warren, Larry, Ismet, Jack, Gio, Maytel, all the people that help us feel like we're family at Warren Henry. They can help you feel like family too, because you all know that when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, Jaguar, and Lincoln up at 151st and Biscayne down in South Dade. They've got an award-winning Land Rover, Range Rover store. High five to Eric for that one. They've got a great store that sells Audis up in Gainesville. I'm looking forward to seeing them when I'm up in Gainesville at the UF Center for Real Estate Studies board retreat in a couple of weeks. And down in the Keys, they've got a fabulous store in Key West that sells all the great nameplates. What do they all have in common? Well, besides being great cars, they all come with the Warren Henry advantage. Warren's gone through great trouble to make sure that he's got a great post-purchase experience. You get access to their service department. You get a free service loaner. They've got a whole bunch of benefits that you get, including keeping your rims clean. I always scrape them up. They always polish them up for me. They've got key replacement. If you lose those keys, they'll replace them. They're very expensive, those keys. They'll make sure you're getting the best value on your trade-in, the best price on your new or leased car. They'll give you 3 days to make sure you like your car or you can return it. Nobody returns it because they all like the cars. Join me, my beautiful wife, Vivian, my mom, lots and lots of my clients and friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. Must get a call a week for a referral over there. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Remember, I'm Jim Fried. In a minute, we're going to talk to my partner, Jim McCarthy. We're going to talk about how I help people using my blockchain technology and my new partnership with Oasis Pro Markets to help them reduce costs, increase reach to new clients, and increase efficiencies. We'll talk in detail about that on the show. Oasis Pro is a licensed broker dealer. Before the show, I talked to the compliance department to make sure I'd stay between the lines. And that's what's important. When you're working with us, we're always making sure we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's to make it worthwhile for you. I'm doing super jumbos. I'm doing a massive reverse mortgage, a $7 million reverse mortgage right now. For one of my clients, somebody I really appreciate the relationship we have with them. I'm also solving some problems on an apartment deal where we're getting them a stretch construction loan up to 75% of cost. We're also working with a group that's doing a redevelopment deal up in the New York City area on the same type of scale. So we're helping families, we're helping investment advisors, we're working with real estate operating companies and lots of others to help them solve their problems. Our clients come from all over the world and right here in South Florida. If we can help you, please call me, DM me, email me, reach out to me. Of course, by now you know that my personal brand is that I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their dreams and goals. I do that by solving their problems and bringing them peace of mind. So reach out to me, call me. Remember, whenever you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Fried on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Fried or at Fried on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Fried1. Now, back to your host, Jim Fried.
Oh, hey, everybody. I want to thank Mr. Mendoza for turning my mic back on. I'd like to bring on Jim McCarthy. Jim and I are going to talk about our new partnership with Oasis Pro Markets. There he is. Look, Jim, your shirt matches your glasses today. Could you unmute Mr. McCarthy, please?
I'm unmuted.
There you go. You're unmuted now.
Yes.
So welcome to the show. I want to give a high five to Doug from compliance at Oasis Pro Markets. We had a pre-call to make sure that we focused on what was important. And because Oasis Pro is a broker dealer, we have to be very sensitive to what we say. So I want to start out by saying our relationship with Oasis Pro allows Jim and I to help our clients lower costs, increase efficiency, and reach new investors. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So Jim, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
It's my absolute pleasure. So those are pretty big claims. So let's talk about it for a minute. First of all, you and I have been investigating the real estate tokenization and digitization space for well over 2 years now. How did, tell the people how we decided Oasis Pro was for us and hopefully for them too.
Sure. We had originally set up that we wanted to work with an institutional quality service. We didn't want to just be, your friend Joe has a server in his garage and now he's a webmaster doing digitalized investments. So we went at it the opposite way. We looked at the software first, and we ended up focusing on a company called Tokeny, which is based out of Luxembourg. It's partially owned by Euronext and partially by the Apex Global Asset Management, one of the largest asset management companies in the world. We decided they had the best software and they had serious institutional backing. So then we looked at how they played into the U.S. because we needed to have an SEC registered partner. As you know, most of these sites are simply somebody who set them up, and they're not broker dealers, not SEC compliant, but we didn't want to do that. So
why does that matter, Jim?
That matters because, two reasons. One, secondary trading. If you're issuing a primary offering, so you're just offering a security for yourself as principal, you can do that. You don't have to register. You have to do the paperwork. You have to do a Reg D filing or a Reg A filing, but you can offer and sell the securities yourself. But to trade them in the secondary market, buy and sell them, which is what institutions want the ability to do, you have to be a registered broker-dealer. Some people are trying to get around that by saying, well, we'll set up a bulletin board or a chat room where people can get together and trade the securities. Well, what do you think a stock exchange is? It's a room where people get together to chat and exchange securities. So the SEC is cracking down on those groups, saying, no, you got to go register as a broker-dealer. The second is the regulations. When you just set up your own server, your own site, you're supposed to follow the law, which, as you can see from the numerous SEC fines announced periodically in the papers, a lot of people have trouble doing. So
imagine that.
Yes. So we want
imagine if I raised money and gave it to some person to put in their checkbook without somebody holding it in a certified institution.
Yes, which is one of the things, as I mentioned, as a SEC registered broker dealer, funding is done through a custodian. So we don't touch the money. It's handed over to a registered custodian, usually a large bank, and they hold the money in trust and release it once all the conditions are complied with. So we have a lot of controls. We have the SEC following. Oasis, as an SEC broker-dealer, files all the regulatory requirements, all the reporting, all the know your client stuff that's required, all the anti-money laundering. So we're protected on all those levels. Then the funds are gone through a custodian and a transfer agent, which is, again, a bank. So it's not like, as you reference, another large provider of a similar service where they simply collected money from their investors and handed it over to the sponsor as instructed to various accounts. And now that the transaction hasn't closed, they've discovered that instead of having tens of millions of dollars in the account, they have like $1,500. So we can't do that. We don't touch.
Thank God. I don't.
Yes.
I don't ever want to be in that position.
No.
So then we help people stay SEC compliant while they do their offering. Sounds really sophisticated, but it also sounds like the next generation of straight on real estate syndication.
Yeah, I mean, it's people they think it's complicated, and partially because the industry uses terms that we don't use in real estate. They'll say tokenization. Well, that's a partnership share or a share in a REIT or any type of investment in real estate. We call them shares or partnership shares or membership interests. They call them tokens. We go into the blockchain. It sounds complicated. It's actually, we take all the documents, we digitalize them, and it's sort of like, think you're setting up a Dropbox, except that once the documents are in the Dropbox, they can't be changed, and everything can be tracked, and everything can be audited, so that nobody can say, I didn't see the same document you saw. They're all right there in one spot. Nobody can say, you sent me this document, then you changed it. It can't be changed. It can be added to, but when it's added to, there's a record that everybody can see. So you have real transparency. But again, it's from the investor's point, the borrower's point of view. You're loading the documents into a Dropbox. From the, I guess I shouldn't say Dropbox. That's their term.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Something similar to that.
Well, all I can say is Doug wanted me to take notes, and so far, this is what I got.
So far, okay. I used the name.
Oh, and I got another page.
And then from the investor's point of view, they log onto a portal and they can see all the documents there. So it's really just simplifying everything, making it electronic, making it available over the internet, which means it's also available to anyone in the world who has internet connection and meets the accredited investor standards. And we set it up so that foreign investors can invest. So it's a very efficient, effective way to raise funds.
Earlier today, again, off of my podcast, or actually from LinkedIn, somebody reached out to me. They provide accounting, tax services, advice to overseas investors for entering in the United States. And I told them I'd love to work with them. and they said they have their back office in New York. I said, wow, what a cheap place to have your back office. I said, well, if more people go back to work like Irvin, I think that New York may actually come back too. But and I told them, well, I could help them lower their costs, increase their efficiencies, and reach new investors when they were trying to raise money for their projects. And they were interested. And that's one way that we work with the service providers as well as the clients. What we really do is we're really just consultants helping them find best in class and execute.
Yep. I mean, I guess the compliance would say we have to be very specific. We're not lawyers, we're not tax advisors. We are helping you with the digitalization aspects. And Oasis is the broker-dealer who will help you comply with all the SEC requirements. They'll not help you. They'll make you comply with all the SEC requirements.
It's a technology solution is what this is.
Yeah. Think of it, the stock market. It started out in New York, downtown, where a bunch of people got together literally in front of a cherry tree and started trading stocks. And then the bonds started, and people would walk around, bond brokers would walk around with the bonds stuck in their hats, those tall hats they wore. And they trade them. And we've come a long way from sticking a bond in your hat and going over to somebody's office to see if they want to buy it. And this is the next step.
Well, sometimes I talk to people that it sounds like they're still stuck in that time frame.
I'm sure there are a few who would like to go back to those simpler times.
Why don't we take a quick break here? I'll sell some cars for Warren Henry, and let's come back and talk about the type of people that this might be useful for, and then we'll wrap things up. Mr. Mendoza? I'm taking all these notes for the compliance guys back at Oasis Pro. Boy, it's so tough. I watch those videos and it's like I start driving in my own car. I love my hometown. It's so beautiful. Please come to Miami and enjoy yourselves. And by the way, if you're looking to buy a car, call my friends at Warren Henry. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, now our sponsors for well over a decade. We thank them so much for partnering with the show. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, Jaguar, and Lincoln at their store in North Miami at 151st and Biscayne. Oops, I've got a frog. Hold on. 151st and Biscayne. I'll be up in Gainesville in a couple of weeks. As always, I'll stop by the Audi store. I love their cars up there. They're gorgeous. They're attainable. They're great. And also, I'm going to go down to the Key West store where they've got all their nameplates. And of course, on my way back, I'll stop at the South Dade store, which is an award-winning store. High five to Eric Day for all the things he's done down there. All those stores, what do all those stores have in common? Well, they're all offer cars that are backed by the Warren Henry Advantage. That's a long list of services that you get when you become a Warren Henry family member. I'm so proud to be a brand ambassador for them. You get, of course, a complimentary loaner if you have to leave your car. You get, they replace those fancy keys. I keep looking down because that's where my keys are. They replace those fancy keys if you lose them. I've got 2 of them on my key ring right now. If I lost that key ring, probably cost me $500 unless I was a member of the Warren Henry family. They'll guarantee you're getting the best price on your trade-in, on your new car, on your used car. They'll give you 3 days to turn your car back if you don't like it. Nobody ever does that. They love that. They love their cars. Join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots and lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. whenever I go into my wife's Warren Henry car, it always calls me the visitor. I guess I got to go back to Warren Henry and let the service department log me in and show me how to make myself a known person to my Apple CarPlay that's in there. But people recognize me in the real estate industry all the time because I help them solve their problems. You're hearing me today with my partner, Jim McCarthy. We're talking about our partnership with Oasis Pro Markets. I think that once you're listening to that and you look into it, you'll see that we're really cutting edge. I bring amazing cutting edge solutions to the families I work for. I've got another group that wants to build an apartment project here in South Florida. They solicited over 200 people. Nobody wanted to give them a loan. They called me. First person I called, we're getting them a loan. We're getting a term sheet today. We're already negotiating the term sheet, and I'm hoping that we'll be execute the term sheet by later this week and hopefully close them 45 days thereafter. So if you need a solution and you need it fast, call me. Pref equity, mezz debt, I've got it all creative, usually driven by a high net worth investor or a debt fund that I've known for decades. You see that I go to the IMN events. You saw Irvin and I talking about that earlier. I meet great contacts at those events, and then I bring them to you so that they can help you execute your real estate transaction. As the market continues to evolve, I know great people to help as receivers. So I'm working with a lot of the investors and lenders to see if they need some third-party help. That'll be another great source for real estate transactions. So if you need somebody creative that's been to the movie before, I did that so you can see all my gray hair, call me, reach out to me, DM me. Remember, my personal brand is that I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their dreams and goals. I do that by helping them solve their problems and bringing them peace of mind. Let me do that for you. Remember, whenever you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Fried on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Fried or at Fried on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Fried1. Now, back to your host, Jim Fried.
All right, we're on with my partner, Jim McCarthy. We're talking about our partnership with Oasis Pro Markets. I'm taking notes and making sure that I stick to the plan so that I don't violate any of the things that the Oasis Pro Compliance Department told me not to do. So I'm staying within the lines. I'm listening to what Doug said. And Jim, isn't that one of the most important functions of what we do, is making sure that we color inside the lines and make sure everything is compliant with the SEC and FINRA regulations?
Yeah, it's very important, especially given the fact that the SEC is cracking down on this industry. And some people say very heavy-handed, but I think actually a pretty fair way, because their job is to protect investors. And the way things are going with a lot of these sites, the investors have no protection or very little protection, and they think they do.
It's very important, I think, to act in a way that's responsible, especially in this regard. Lots of people want to be in this space, and there is a lot of room for a bad actor if you don't cross your T's and dot your I's. And that's one of the reasons that I look forward to continuing to partner with Oasis Pro, because they're allowing us to work with them and letting us leverage their compliance team and their methodologies. And we're bringing that to our client base. Jim, talk a little bit about some of the people that we're working with.
Well, because it's a fairly new industry, what we've been telling potential clients are, think slow. If you're buying a building, you need the money in a month. If you're refinancing because you're about to be foreclosed on, don't come to us. We were being very blunt about that. This is going to be a slow, step-by-step growth of the industry. If you have a property where you want to recapitalize it and you have the time to do it right, that's the type of product we want to deal with. It's not what other people are. A lot of people say, sure, you're building a building, we'll get you a construction loan. We don't want to take that chance, putting our clients on the line like that until we're absolutely certain that will happen, because the investors are just getting into this industry. They're just starting to understand it. And the big players, the institutions, are coming in. as you know, they were not there a while ago. They're now coming in, but they're coming in very cautiously, and we want to play along with them. We don't want to be one of these things that flares up for a month or two, and then people are disappointed or whatever, and the whole thing goes away. We're in this for the long haul. We're focused on quality. We're focused on institutional type investments and investors, and that's a slow slog, but we think it's the way to go.
Yeah, what I've seen is that people that really didn't want to talk to me 2 years ago about this started talking to me about a year ago, and now they're extraordinarily serious, realizing that the train is now leaving the station and it's time to get on. We've had a lot of good discussion, and we're now signing up our clients. So it's really a great time to start. If people want more information, they can either email me or Jim to ask for more details. We're happy to get on the phone with them, give them some, information, help them understand things through some informative podcasts like this that we've done. We've got a deck, we've got a white paper we've written about it. And then the next step is usually to execute a mutual non-disclosure agreement and get on the phone and demonstrate the technology that Oasis has developed. And remember, this is really a technology solution. There will be more updates coming down the road as the process and relationships continue to expand over at Oasis. Jim, just to wrap it up, what would you say?
Just one point I would point out. A lot of people, when they first start looking at this, come back and say, well, I'm using this property management software. I'm using this investment management software. I don't want to go through the headache of changing everything. Well, in a lot of the cases, if not most of the cases, we can tie directly between our software and that software so that everything is done on a synchronized basis, and you don't have to go out and learn a whole new set of softwares just to be able to syndicate.
So really what this does is it creates the ability for them to upload their data, get efficient data management, and produce reports in a very consistent way to be compliant with the SEC and FINRA.
Right. And if they need assistance, we do have relationships with partners where we can bring them in advices on how to put the documentation together. If they're looking at doing an ESG plan, sorry, Republicans, I did say that word. We have a consulting firm that would come in and work with them on doing that. We can bring them property management that ties into our software, investment management that ties into our software. There's a lot of pieces to this that are just starting to come together, and it's a whole new world, but it is the new world.
Well, I want to thank you for being on the show today. I want to thank the people that we deal with every day at Oasis Pro, Wes, Tucker, of course, Doug, who made sure I stayed between the lines today, the folks that we do our demos with. It really is a wonderful, positive environment with nothing but good energy. I recommend that everybody reach out to us, DM us, ask us for more information. We've got an incredible email that we can send you that really helps you get educated on all of this and helps you just really ask more questions, because as you learn more, we're better able to help you meet your needs and goals. Jim, I want to thank you so much for this, taking time out. I'll give you, well, why don't you stay in the green room after the show? We'll talk about this. I want to thank our friends at IMN. I want to thank Irvin for coming on and talking about IMN's Real Estate and Family Office event that's early October. Go to imn.org for more information. I'll be there along with a lot of my friends and investors. I want to thank Doug, Tucker, Wes, and the rest of the team at Oasis Pro Markets for walking us through, partnering with us, helping us create a great, diligent approach to this that minimizes the risk. It's not, we're not taking the risk out, but we are helping people be SEC compliant, be transparent. We're helping them reduce costs, increase efficiencies, and reach new investors. And as more announcements come, we have a lot of exciting things that are coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned for this. In a couple of weeks, I'll be going up to Gainesville for the University of Florida Center for Real Estate Studies Bergstrom Center event. I want to thank my good friend Adam Baseman. Congratulate Adam on being appointed to the board. It's a really big honor, and have known Adam since he was a student, and it really makes me feel good to be able to do that. So we'll be up at UF in a couple of weeks. Thanks to the Bergstrom Center for being sponsors of the show. Thanks, of course, to Warren Henry for being a sponsor for well over a decade. And I want to thank you. Without you, I wouldn't have a podcast. Remember, we drop a new podcast at noon on Wednesdays. They're available at Fried on Business pretty much instantaneously. Also, I've got them on my LinkedIn feed. Reach out to me, DM me. I'm available pretty much everywhere. Remember, my personal brand is that I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their dreams and goals. I do that by helping them solve problems, bringing them peace of mind. Remember, whenever you call me, it's always all about you. And here's the bottom line. The person who wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. Look what Jim and I are building with Oasis Pro. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Mr. Mendoza, the rest of the show is yours.